Who is a doppelganger? The concept of the doppelganger, often translated as spiritual twin or shadow self, is distinct from a concept found in some spiritual beliefs called Karen. Both are seen as entities tied to a person's life, yet they serve different purposes and have different origins. What is Karen? In some interpretations, Karen is thought to be a spirit or entity formed by the accumulation of a person's negative energy or dark actions over time. It is mentioned in certain religious texts, including the Quran, and is believed to be created by the influence of negative thoughts, behaviors, or harmful intentions. If a person radiates positive or light energy, this positive energy stays within their aura and benefits their life, without creating a distinct entity. But when negative energy builds up, it can manifest as a separate, darker being that mirrors and follows the individual. This shadow is known as Karen, and it is tied to the negative energy within a person's life and choices. What is a doppelganger? In contrast, the doppelganger is said to be a unique entity that is born with each individual, with a resemblance that extends to their physical appearance. Unlike Karen, which results from a person's negative energy and behavior, the doppelganger or twin spirit is not created by any actions or energy. It is simply a companion that exists from birth and mirrors the person's image, although it may vary slightly in height or body type. According to some beliefs, this doppelganger is an entity of the unseen world, with a form and characteristics that mirror the individual's physical appearance but exist independently in the realm of spirits. This difference highlights how Karen is seen as a reflection of personal negativity, while the doppelganger is simply a parallel being. The doppelganger has no link to good or bad energy. Instead, it is a kind of spiritual twin that coexists with a person from the moment they are born. Spiritual bonds. It is said that every human has an invisible spiritual bond with the divine. Some call this a heavenly cord, symbolizing the soul's connection to higher realms. This connection can either align with good or evil. Each person is also assigned a guardian angel, often called a guide, along with two other angels recording one's good and bad deeds. These angels know every detail of a person's life, thoughts, and actions through their bond to this spiritual cord. But along with these benevolent presences, a dark counterpart, the doppelganger, is born with each person. This shadow being is said to look exactly like the individual, although it might differ slightly in height or build. Why is it called a doppelganger? The term doppelganger refers to a spiritual twin that exists alongside a person, growing and maturing as they do. Though similar in appearance, it's said that the doppelganger has unique characteristics that distinguish it from other spiritual entities. One distinguishing feature is that it bears the exact same name as its human counterpart. Some believe that a person's doppelganger shares not only their face, but also their true identity. Two key aspects of the doppelganger in mysticism. 1. True form. The doppelganger looks identical to the person in its true form. 2. Spiritual image. In mystical beliefs, it can create an alternate appearance, known as its spiritual image, often linked with other larger mystical beings. The doppelganger across cultures and beliefs. The concept of a spiritual twin or doppelganger is ancient, appearing in various cultures worldwide. Middle Eastern beliefs. In Middle Eastern traditions, the doppelganger is often considered a spirit or jinn that accompanies a person throughout life, sometimes helping or hindering them. In Iran, it is often thought of as a personal jinn or spirit that is always by one's side. European myths. In Europe, the doppelganger is known as a double walker. In German folklore, it's believed that seeing one's doppelganger is an omen of misfortune or even death. Indian and Chinese beliefs. In some Asian cultures, the doppelganger is associated with an aspect of the soul that might temporarily leave the body and appear as the person. Indian and Chinese belief. Psychological perspectives. The doppelganger also has psychological interpretations. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, introduced the concept of the shadow, representing hidden and often dark aspects of one's personality. The doppelganger in literature and media. The idea of a doppelganger has been a rich source of inspiration in literature and film. Classic writers like Edgar Allan Poe used the doppelganger to create tension and intrigue, often portraying it as a dark reflection of the self. In films, doppelgangers often symbolize hidden sides of a character, as seen in movies like Us, where characters confront darker, mirror images of themselves. Scientific research on the doppelganger phenomenon. In psychology, certain mental conditions can make people feel like they are seeing a double. Capgras syndrome, for example, is a condition where a person believes someone close to them has been replaced by an identical imposter. Supernatural beliefs and the doppelganger. In supernatural beliefs, the doppelganger is often thought of as a real entity that exists alongside a person, sharing their experiences and perhaps influencing their life. In this view, the doppelganger acts as a spiritual mirror, reflecting the person's qualities and perhaps even affecting their path in life. It's believed that, in some cases, the doppelganger may appear at critical moments, sometimes as a warning or guide. Types of doppelgangers. Different cultures and spiritual beliefs outline various forms of doppelgangers, including spiritual doppelganger. This type is more like a spiritual twin that shares a deeper, mystical connection with the individual. Physical doppelganger. Similar to the idea of a doppelganger in Western lore, it appears as a physical, identical double that one might encounter in real life. Psychological doppelganger represents hidden aspects of one's personality or the shadow self, manifesting as repressed thoughts and feelings. The doppelganger in everyday life. Some people report having profound moments of self-awareness or seeing an alternate version of themselves, either in dreams or during introspective moments. These experiences may be seen as encounters with one's inner self or a form of spiritual reflection. Such encounters often drive individuals on a path of self-discovery, helping them understand hidden dimensions of their psyche. Conclusion. The idea of the doppelganger has fascinated cultures, philosophers, and artists for centuries. Whether viewed as a mystical entity, a psychological reflection, or simply a cultural myth, the doppelganger continues to captivate the human imagination. It serves as a reminder of the complex, often dual nature of the human psyche, symbolizing the light and darkness within us all.